We're filming on Tuesday the 20th. I got Mike with me this week.
What's up?
Yeah, this is fun. I've been annoying him about coming on the podcast, and then every week I'm like, nah, not this time. And then this week he finally let him on, and he said he's honored. So we're excited.
On the week where I've watched the least amount of sports
The
that I've
least
watched.
amount of sports possible. I texted him. I was like, "Hey, you watched the UFC fights?" He goes, "Absolutely not." I was like, "That's awesome."
I watched the last one. That's all that
We're gonna
matters.
talk about him. So, just some breaking news in the NBA since we got no games. The Lakers are shopping for D Rose. I think if LeBron gets D Rose a ring, he's the GOAT.
That's according to the Bible.
No matter what.
Anything that helps D Rose get a ring.
Anything
Really.
that helps that man into the Hall of Fame. He deserves the world. Kawhi told LA he wants a point guard. He told the Clippers that he's looking for a point guard. And
Wrong PG.
yeah, I think they trade PG for a PG. Who's available? I was thinking Chris Paul on the Clippers. What? Could you imagine if he played for the Clippers?
Okay.
That franchise.
I don't see Chris Paul
I don't
getting
see Chris Paul
traded
in the
though.
Clippers uniform.
I just don't see him getting traded.
Out of OKC, I don't know.
I think
they're
he's too
blowing-
valuable
I
to
think
them.
They're blowing that up.
No, I think they're too valuable.
I think they're taking their chances on Shy and they're blowing that up. And then if Giannis doesn't sign an extension, the Bucks aren't going to trade him. They came out today and they said that if he doesn't sign, they're just going to hope he stays after he doesn't sign. I don't know what kind of logic that is. If he leaves, Milwaukee should blow it up because no free agents come to Milwaukee.
What do you mean everyone wants to go to Milwaukee?
I love Wisconsin.
I
They got cheese, man. they got Aaron Rodgers. I don't know, that whole state is awesome.
Bruh.
Yeah, they got to blow it up. If Giannis leaves, they got nothing. Who they got? Kobe Middleton? No, they got it. They got to blow that up. Offer him all the money in the world. If he leaves, it's your own fault because you couldn't get him surrounded by better talent. And the Dodgers are whooping up on the Rays right now in Game 1 of the World Series. We don't cover baseball, but that's pretty cool. On to the NFL. Gets me aroused every time. Sorry, Carlos.
You gonna learn today.
Sorry, I don't know. Are the Bears the real deal with that W versus Carolina? How are we feeling about the Bears this week? I love Nick Foles. I love Nick Foles.
I like BDN for the meme,
BDN for the meme,
but
not in real life?
I don't like Nick Foles that much
You're killing me.
personally.
He used to play for the Rams.
I don't like Nick Foles that much.
Well, whether you like him or not, Nick Foles and the Bears are atop Aaron Rodgers and the Packers for first place.
All right.
They're 1-2, handily beating Detroit and the other team that plays in that division.
I think Nick Foles is only good for one thing, and that's beating Brady.
You gotta do what you got to do to survive in this league, and if you got to beat Brady to do it, then that's good. The Colts survived versus the Bengals. The Bengals were coming back.
Oh yeah, that just dangerous Bengals team. Dangerous Bengals team.
Dangerous. I never said they were feeling dangerous. I said that the defense is great, and they don't allow a lot of points.
Listen, I'm at this point just because of Burrow. I'm actually low-key a Bengals fan.
I'm actually low-key a Bengals fan too. I don't like to admit it because I've hated on Cincy for so long. Because you're that orange that you drafted a ginger to play quarterback for 10 years and win no playoff games. That's how much you love being orange.
I mean, he's such a good quarterback, though. Look what he's doing now.
Look at what he's doing in Dallas. Look at those beautiful stats. I knew that comeback versus the Giants was just the Giants being the Giants.
Dallas Jets.
There was no the Dallas Jets. That moves me to the Bengals are set. I think they work on that O-line, and they get receivers that actually want to play football, and they'll win games. They have T. Higgins out of Clemson this year to pair up with Joe Burrow. That kind of sucks. Like, you play Joe Burrow in the national championship game, you lose, and then you drafted to the same team as him. And now you're like, I love this guy, even though a couple weeks ago he shitted on your whole team.
I've always loved him.
Yeah, but T. Higgins is going to be a stud. Hey, John Ross just requested a trade. John Ross ran the fastest 40 ever, got picked at 9 just for running the fastest 40 ever, basically. He just requested a trade because last week he played one snap.
I haven't heard.
He got played one snap. He didn't even get sweaty, bro.
Haven't heard much of him.
Suited up
like,
for no reason.
In a while.
Since he ran that 40.
Yeah, ever since that 40, haven't heard his name all that much.
Well, he requested a trade, so he's out of there. AJ Green's probably out of there. he's not happy in this situation. I don't know how you could be unhappy with Joe Burrow at quarterback, but
I think it's just the Bengals at this point.
I think it's just the new crop coming in and the old crop going out. And that's just what it is. The Lions get an ugly W versus Jacksonville. So Jacksonville had me fooled week 1 with that big dub. I don't even know who they played week 1, but they got the W and then they've lost every game.
I mean, to be fair, Gardner Minshew missed one pass week 1.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy? He does that stuff like that every week.
I know he's
like you look at his stat line and he just doesn't play bad. I don't know how the Jags are losing games.
Because they got rid of everybody.
They got rid of everybody.
The fact that they were winning games at all
is pretty shocking.
Yeah, I don't.
But I love I love Jacksonville. I guess I'm biased, but I love Jacksonville.
I don't.
That mustache makes me so happy. I just love that he loves having it. It looks dumb to me. I could never do it, but I love that he loves it. And
man's in the wrong films.
I think they're gonna get a top 5 pick again, because they're not gonna win very many games. But Jacksonville is still lovely in my eyes. The Lions are still trash in my eyes. They can only beat bad teams, and then they still find ways to look bad versus bad teams. They let a non-kicker kick a field goal.
And it was a beautiful kick.
30 yards out, straight down the pipe. Hey, man. I give it to him.
Man, I've tried to kick field goals.
It's not
It looks like the easiest thing in the world.
So
a 30-yard kick?
Not easy.
No.
At all. Very hard, very hard. I went 0 for like 20 that day. You went 1 for 20. That was a good day. The Falcons finally won a game. They're not the worst team in the league anymore. It's officially the New York Jets.
They finally scored points in the third quarter.
Points in the third.
What was it, like a minute 55 left, I think? They scored a touchdown or something.
And then they did it. I think Julio was just pissed off.
Julio
was so mad. Julio was like, they hate me. We're not winning no games. They fired my coach. But they're already talking about blowing it up anyway. At the deadline, a lot of execs around the league believe, this came out like today, that a lot of execs believe that Matt Ryan's getting traded at the deadline and that Julio's getting traded at the deadline. If you trade Julio at the deadline, you're really blowing it up.
I mean, you better get everything for Julio.
That's a first. Even at 30, that's
Julio
a
could be
pick.
50 years old. I don't care. You better trade.
You
better get everything for Julio.
That's according to the Bible.
So with the Falcons winning, that just proves that the Vikings still suck. And that Kirk Cousins is out. Kirk Cousins is no longer the quarterback after this season. They're going to buy his contract out. The Vikings fan base already started a GoFundMe for $85 million in order to buy Kirk Cousins' contract out. I think it has $1,000 on it, somewhere around there. That means people in Minnesota are legitimately donating to some random guy who's asking to buy out Kirk Cousins' contract. This is bad. But yeah, the Vikings haven't been good since Randy Moss. Even though they had a top 5 defense for 4 years, with Kirk Cousins and no run game, they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, the Vikings are always a team that I look at and I'm like, they're gonna be good this year. I always just feel like they're gonna be good this year.
You know why? Because they go 10-6 and then they beat the Saints in the playoffs. So the next year you're like, man, they went 10-6 and beat the Saints. But going 10-6 and beating the Saints means jack shit because the Saints suck.
Well, no, the Saints are good. It's just once they get into the playoffs is when they just become the Saints.
You and the Saints have a lot of history. Yeah, Rams fan.
Yeah, I hate the Saints as much as the next guy.
Oh, yeah. We are not a Saints or Cowboys-friendly channel. We are very much on the hatred side of those things. Let me get back to the notes. The NFC least stinker. Washington lost by a point to the Giants, 20-19. I've never even seen 2019 as a score. I don't even know how you get 19 points in an NFL
Potential
game.
scoregami? I don't know.
What?
A scoregami? You don't know what that is?
Bro, explain yourself.
You done messed up, Aaron!
Explain yourself.
So a scoregami is when a score happens that's never happened before. So, like.
Did you just make that up?
No, it's a legitimate thing. I promise you.
Bruh.
Yeah, it's a legitimate thing.
Mom, can we get a Google search on that, please?
All right.
We have my mom. You can't see it because we're not moving the camera because that'll take too long to set back up. But my mom's here. She's going to Google check that for us while we move on because nobody wants to talk about the NFC least. The Eagles, as we talk about the Eagles almost did something. They almost beat Baltimore. And when you're like the worst team in the league almost beating a good team is kind of cool, you know?
Baltimore is so weird, man, because they're so good and then just randomly they just start doing
for real?
They just start doing weird things. Of course.
Okay.
Wow. So you Google random shit all the time and then yell at me that when I don't believe you. I'm sorry. Philly, yeah. Baltimore is a weird one though. I feel like they either show up and win big or they don't show up at all and barely win or lose.
Mm-hmm.
And
when they lose, they lose. Like they lose
that
when they lose.
They lost. There was no. I think Lamar had like 60 yards passing that game versus Kansas City.
Yeah,
And we've come to learn that Kansas City's defense isn't even all that. They got Honey Badger on the back end, and then that D-line, and that's it.
Yeah, the Kansas City defense, I think, fooled everyone a little bit. You
And
know,
Sorensen,
like,
but I love Sorensen. Sorensen's the guy that stayed up until 3 a.m. watching film the day before the Super Bowl. So it's like when you got guys like that on your defense, everybody's going to overhype you, I guess.
I mean, it's two guys.
No.
They
got a great D-line.
Yeah, but they got a good D-line.
Sorensen and Honey Badger, and everybody else is kind of just a bunch of guys.
I've heard a lot of bad things about their corners.
Yeah, their corners aren't very good.
I
I
feel
know
like
Madden, if you give him an outside linebacker, you get a third-round pick. But that's not good. Pittsburgh dominated Cleveland. I had Cleveland winning. You know, I'm a huge Baker Mayfield. I love Baker Mayfield.
You want to talk about that?
Still on Baker
Do you want to talk about that?
He got benched. I'm cool with it. I'm good with it. He aggravated his rib injury, bro.
Is that what happened? Is that what happened?
100% that's what happened. I think he needs to get there already. I don't know what he's doing. I don't think he cares about football, which is the exact same problem that they had with Johnny Manziel.
I mean, it's just all his time in the offseason. I mean, the dude has like 500 commercials.
Yeah.
And I see 10 of them every game.
Every game. It's all Baker Mayfield. I think he's the official spokesperson of the NFL. Not Patrick Mahomes, not Russell Wilson. I think Baker Mayfield is the face of the NFL. Yeah, he's at least the face of Geico or whatever, whoever. I think it's Geico.
No, it's Nationwide.
Is it Nationwide?
It's definitely not Geico.
No, it's Geico.
It's definitely not Geico.
Protect your home. Protect this house. I'm pretty sure it's Geico.
Bruh. Mom?
Okay, who's Maker Mayfield sponsored by?
Yeah,
Geico?
Maker Mayfield.
Maker Mayfield.
You gonna learn today.
You better make up time because he's fucking up. I'm tired of it.
Better make some damn passes that aren't to the other team.
I cussed on this channel. I apologize. But anyway, while we wait for that, the Titans won a thriller. They were up big. Houston came back, and then they just shattered it in OT because Derrick Henry's the best running back in the league.
Yeah, I tried very hard to watch that game. My cable just wasn't having it. I could only watch one game. I forget what game it was. It was so boring.
You don't remember what game it was? Well, yeah, I did watch that game, and the Titans won in a thriller. I was at work. Or no, I was not at work.
It was a Dolphins game that was on.
Well, that Dolphins game was awesome. We'll get to it. The Jets had 0 points, which is awesome for me because I'm a Dolphins fan. Who's he sponsored by? I don't know who you said. Baker Mayfield, Mom.
Bruh.
Yeah, bruh is right. Thanks, Mark.
I feel like it also might be State Farm. I don't think it's State Farm.
That's Patrick
I
Mahomes
know.
and Aaron Rodgers.
I know.
That's two different types.
I don't know why it's in my head.
That's two different types of.
You done messed up, Aaron.
Sponsored by Progressive.
Does Progressive have like the little?
That's how you know he's the
little
face
like
of the
bird?
NFL because we watched those commercials 1,000 times. We still don't know what insurance company it is. What is it? The girl? Yeah, that's Flo.
Well, yeah, but
I think Progressive does have the bird though.
Yeah, it's like the bird.
No, that's Nationwide.
I think she's wrong. I still think it's Nationwide. Google isn't right.
It says Progressive.
I don't care. It's Nationwide. Your side.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna Google a Baker Mayfield commercial. Anyway. So with the Titans beating Houston, that means that Houston fell to 1-5 and they're not making the playoffs. I predicted them to be my 0-3 playoff team, and they're not going to be my 0-3 playoff team. They're probably gonna get a top 5 pick because they got to figure it out with that offensive line. One of the worst in football, probably the worst in football, other than Cincinnati, because Joe Burrow's on track for 75 sacks. Yeah, 75 sacks, dog.
Imagine Aaron Donald going up against that line.
Yeah, imagine if Aaron Donald played in the NFC North. I'm sorry, in the AFC North. with Pittsburgh's offensive line would be the only one that's like, and like Marshall Yanda on Baltimore's offensive line, but nobody else is good. So it's not really anything to be special about. The Packers had a hiccup this week versus Tampa. Aaron Rodgers threw 3 interceptions after throwing no interceptions. I think it's just a bad game. I think they'll bounce back and they're still
just because he did 3 pumps.
Just because he did 3 pumps. If you look up Baker Mayfield in YouTube, the first thing that pops up is highlights, and then the second thing is commercial.
His commercials are his highlights.
It's Progressive. At home with Baker Mayfield.
Bro, that's literally what I said.
Bruh.
That's definitely not what you said. When I watch this back, I'm going to hit you. Tampa Bay still has to prove something to me. I don't care. They go 1-1-1-1-1-1-1. And I don't think their offense has any kaboom to it. I think they hit when they hit, but when they're not hitting, it's terrible football to watch.
It's almost like the Ravens.
they the Ravens of the NFC?
I mean, their quarterbacks play exactly the same when you think about it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Both-
I love watching Tom
Both
Brady
just
escape
freak
the pocket.
athletes.
I
Both
love
freak athletes.
jumping over people. Honestly, I've heard a lot of people say that Tom Brady's the better athlete between the two of them, and I don't think they're wrong.
I mean, it is a hot take.
Because I spit hot fire.
He's definitely more accurate pocket passer, though.
I mean, when was the last time we saw Brady's 40?
People are supposed to watch this for actual information. If they don't know that this is sarcasm, that's gonna be so bad. Two different offenses, kind of the same thing though. I agree with that. I would say that Tampa Bay is in Baltimore, but I think I have a lot more respect for Baltimore as a team.
I mean, you've seen it more. Like
True.
they've proved
And they
them.
play in the AFC.
They've proved themselves.
True. I still don't trust Tampa Bay. The 49ers still suck. I'll give it to you. You guys lost to the worst team possible. I hate they suck. The 49ers are not good. Their entire defense is on injured reserve. You guys lost only because I feel like Jared Goff and Sean McVay are inconsistent. And the defense, you guys need to help that D-line, man. That D-line is on the team. Thank God Aaron Donald can bench 500 pounds because he's the only thing carrying you right now.
You see, the thing is I've never seen Deebo Samuel run so aggressive.
He's such a large person.
I didn't think
Like,
he
if
could
you-
move the way that he
if
moved.
You look at him play the game. He's such a large receiver, and he knows he is a large receiver, so he just bodies those corners.
And a huge problem with the Rams is we use all of our timeouts before the ends of games. So we'll only have one timeout going into the fourth, and if we're down,
Well, that's
kinda-
also because
I think it's because Sean McVay tries to do too much, and he looks for a very specific look, and then once the offense comes out and the defense is in a totally different thing to either stop the bootleg or stop a sweep.
I just don't think Jared Goff's the end. I think Jared Goff's the problem.
I love Jared Goff.
I know you love. I love Baker Mayfield.
I have
What
to
are we
love
talking
Jared
about?
Goff though. I have to love Jared
Yeah,
Goff.
you're paying him.
There's no.
$30
I like
million.
him more than I like Carson Wentz.
Well, everybody likes Jared Goff more than they like Carson Wentz.
They didn't like him more at first.
Except for Philadelphia. Back to Philadelphia. It took one home game allowing fans for there to be a fight. I don't know if you heard about that. Their first game allowing fans was last Sunday, and there was a fight in the middle of the third quarter. Between Philly fans.
Yeah, of course.
They fought each other.
I mean, who else is going to a Philly game at this point?
True. I wish I could say that for the Dolphins, because every time I go to a Dolphins game, it's an away game. Even though we're in Miami Springs or whatever it's called. Miami Lakes? Where's the stadium? Jack City. Miami Gardens. Sure. I don't care. We usually suck. Like I said, I go to a Ravens Dolphins game, and there's definitely more purple than green.
That's according to the Bible.
The Broncos beat the Patriots, but they beat the COVID Patriots. So are we really counting that as a W versus a good team?
I mean, Cam was back though.
But Stefan's not.
Yeah, that's a big.
That's a big one,
that's a
right?
big
That's
one.
the best player on the team.
That's a big one.
That's a big one. And they're starting running back. I think Michelle was out, and that's the
Yeah, but
their
they
run game is kind of how they get started.
yeah, but they rotate through their running backs so
Yeah,
frequently.
but when you're used to rotating 3, and you need 3 because none of them are really that good, and you don't have one of them, your run game's just not gonna.
Yeah, that's
jump around.
exactly like the Rams
There you go.
with Cam Akers hurt.
There you go. Cam Akers is a good player. You guys got a stud.
He
If
is
can stay healthy
he is
for his
so
career,
good,
he's
and
so good.
Daryl Henderson is really good coming up behind him. He's just not good as. I mean, he's actually really good as a starting running back, but we play so much better with Cam Akers there too.
Because he's a better player. I've just seen it. JETS suck. I love doing that. I do it at Dolphins games, Jets games, sports bars, doesn't matter. I will always do that. 0-6 for the second time in franchise history. The only other time was 96. I can't tell you any stats about 96, but they didn't win the Super Bowl that year, so I'm just going to go out on a limb and say they're not going to win it this year. Sound good? Sound good. Worst team in the league. Sorry, Dad. Dolphins are moving on to Tua. It's Tua time, baby. It's Tua time. We're going into the bye week, so we got 2 extra weeks to get him with the first team. Then we play. Who do we play?
The Los Angeles Rams.
We play the Los Angeles Rams
In
in Miami. We were supposed to go to that game with COVID.
yeah.
It wasn't
yeah.
meant to be. We waited 4 years.
Yeah.
4 years to go to this game.
Gonna have to wait.
Another 4 years.
Yeah.
Sorry, bud. I'll take you to LA one day. No, I won't.
I'm still owed a Super Bowl ticket.
Yo, the odds of them signing Sue and then going to they scored what? 12 points that game. You don't deserve a Super Bowl ticket.
We did not score 12 points that game.
How many? Did you score 3? Oh, that's right. That is right. How you score 50 versus the Chiefs in that same season? Anyway.
Jared
But
Goff
yeah.
is inconsistent.
I think Tua's going to be fine. I think he's going to be great.
I think Tua is going to be a very good player. I just don't think he's going to be a very good player against the Rams.
Of course not. I wonder why. This is an informational channel. This is not an opinionated based channel.
And
Bruh.
based on the
I
information
spit
I've seen,
facts.
yeah, he threw 2 passes against essentially college players.
Okay.
Those Jets players.
Well, it wasn't even their starters; it was the Jets' backups.
Yeah, okay. He threw 2 on the money passes.
Listen, those are just athletic
So,
college players.
That's fine. I'm cool with that. That's all the Jets have. That's who we played all game, basically. C.J. Mosley's getting paid what? To do nothing. But let's move on. I don't want to talk about the Jets anymore. The Cardinals killed America's team with Red Rifle. Or, that's not Red Rock. I want to call him Red Rock.
You done messed up, Aaron.
Definitely not that. It's Red Rifle. Andy Dalton played like trash. I expected him to play like trash. I think everybody expected him to play like trash.
I hoped. I mean, I didn't expect anything out of him, but I really hoped that
No.
he would have some ginger fire under him.
He got benched last year after he came back from injury. I don't even know who his backup was.
I don't know
Nobody.
much about Andy
But
Dalton.
he got benched for him.
All I know is Andy Dalton has been an average quarterback basically his entire career.
Completely average his entire career.
And I expected him to be
I
average
think
again
his
at
winning
least.
percentage is like in the 500s too.
Probably.
Like, yeah. So he's
I mean-
actually completely and utterly average. Except in the hair department. That's not average at all.
I like his
Bruh.
hair, actually.
You're
I think he
weird.
has pretty nice hair.
You're weird. It's red, dog. Nah, I'm kidding. No discrimination. We love gingers just the same as we love blondes and brunettes. The Bills are the AFC's Rams. Great on defense sometimes, wildly inconsistent on offense, and you need a run game in order to get started.
I still like Jared Goff better than Josh Allen.
I don't.
Josh Allen has been wildly more inaccurate than Jared Goff. He just
Josh Allen's gonna get MVP votes this season.
That's what he made everyone believe.
No, he still
No,
will
he
get
no, he
He-
that's what he made
he'll
everyone
still get
believe.
MVP votes.
That's what he made everyone believe. But if he keeps playing the
If
way
he finishes with 4,040, he's not gonna get MVP votes.
Listen, if he keeps playing, if he keeps doing what he's been doing, this man might get a couple third place votes.
That's still votes. Jared Goff hasn't received those. Jared Goff has never been the best player on his team. Josh Allen's widely the best
Jared
player on his
Goff literally had an MVP season at one point
No.
until his entire receiving core got injured.
team. Oh, that's not my problem.
Yeah. Well,
Kansas City can win on the ground. They can win through the air. I know this season a lot of people were skeptical because their best running back on the depth chart was a rookie named Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who now is second in the league behind Derrick Henry, who I think is the best running back in the league. Second in yards. That guy's a stud.
I heard they also got they got another guy who's supposed to be pretty good.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's right. They got Le'Veon.
Yeah.
He's all right, I guess.
Yeah, he's all right.
I think people forgot.
Yeah, people forgot because he was on such a trash dumpster of a team he didn't want to play anymore.
Yeah, that's a dumpster fire organization. The Chiefs are gonna go back to back. I predicted at the beginning of the season, like this whole football season is just so Patrick Mahomes can get his second ring.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it. They're not losing in the playoffs. They're gonna win the Super Bowl again. Them getting Le'Veon only cements it because if Clyde Edwards-Helaire has a bad game or gets hurt, you have at one point the best running back in the league on the team, and he's on the tail end, but he's still in his prime. Age-wise and athleticism-wise, he's still in prime. I think he's like what?
I mean,
30,
We really don't know how good
29?
he's gonna be. I mean, he could be completely terrible. I highly doubt it.
Well, when you give a running back a better offensive line and a better head coach, they're only gonna get.
Yeah,
they're
of
only
course.
gonna be better.
Yeah, but we haven't seen him. Is my point.
I like it.
Like I don't know what he's been doing.
I like it. I think he's been doing exactly what he needs to be doing in order to be the best running back in the league, which he was at one point. And
I
then
don't
he took a year off because he didn't want to sign the franchise tag with Pittsburgh. Signed for less money than what he was asking for in New York, and then here we are, signing for probably a veteran minimum. Excuse me. But yeah,
Still making his money though.
still got his bread. $24 million in 19 games. Seattle has a bye week this week. Russ is gonna rust. I told you I'd say it on the bye week. Let's move on. So we got upcoming NFL. I got the Giants beating Philadelphia. Yeah, the Giants beating Philadelphia. I got Detroit beating Atlanta because I still believe Atlanta's a dumpster fire of an organization. And even though Detroit's also a dumpster fire of an organization, I hate Atlanta. So
I think Atlanta's gonna ride. I think Atlanta has confidence after finally doing something, finally not blowing the lead.
But do you trust
I don't-
Minnesota more than you trust Detroit? Or do you trust them kind of about the same?
I trust Minnesota more than I trust Detroit.
I don't.
I mean, Detroit.
If anything, I trust Minnesota less because I have higher expectations for Minnesota. With Detroit, I know exactly what I'm going to get. I have no idea what I'm getting with Minnesota, which is a problem.
If Minnesota had Matthew Stafford,
they would have been more in a Super Bowl. Because Matty Ice. That's Matt Ryan. It should be Matthew Stafford, though.
Should definitely be Matthew Stafford.
Stafford is definitely the better Matthew. I hope Matt Ryan's name is Matthew. Wouldn't it be weird if it was like Matrix or like Mathedon? I don't know. Hope it's Matthew. But yeah, Stafford's definitely the better Matthew. I have Detroit beating Atlanta.
I disagree.
Okay. I got Cincinnati beating Cleveland. Even though I love Baker, Jarvis, and Odell.
I don't even know if Baker plays next week. I know.
That aggravated rib injury.
I know. Their coach is saying that they're still going with Baker, but
it's Baker. Look, it's Baker time till it's no longer Baker time. They'll ride his rookie contract out, and at the end of his rookie contract, they'll decide whether he stays or not.
Baker time till the wheels fall off.
Baker time till the wheels fall off. Really? No. So yeah, I got Cincinnati over Cleveland. Joe Burrow's probably gonna throw for a lot of yards.
I honestly have no idea with that game.
That Cleveland secondary is god awful.
Like I have no idea with that game.
Cough. Like they look like if you're like remember the longest yard where Michael Irvin plays his first practice? It looks like those corners. That's what's gonna happen. Yeah, Cincinnati's gonna go off. Green Bay's gonna bounce back and beat Houston. They hiccuped. They held their breath. Now they're gonna no longer have the hiccups and they're gonna just cruise to the NFC Championship game.
Aaron Rodgers cannot do one wrong thing without being called washed. This man had one bad game.
Yeah, he literally had 13 touchdowns, no picks, was second in the MVP conversation, had one bad game, and now everybody's shitting on him again. I don't understand why people hate Aaron Rodgers so much.
I don't know
he
either.
hates his mom. I'm kidding. I don't know.
Bruh.
I was about to say I've never heard anything about that.
His brother was on The Bachelorette and came out after he was famous and was like, yeah, Aaron doesn't love mom, doesn't call mom, blah, blah. Like in the middle of the California fires, their mom lives in L.A., and Aaron didn't even call his mom.
I mean, do we trust anyone that was on The Bachelorette, though?
True that. I love Aaron Rodgers.
I think Aaron Rodgers is a pretty good guy.
Dude, hilarious guy on State Farm commercials to watch. I think him and Chris Paul have the best commercials for State Farm. But yeah, I got Green Bay over Houston. They're gonna bounce back, be fine. I got Carolina beating New Orleans, even though New Orleans is off a bye. I know they got Sean Payton, which is a great head coach. I know they have Drew Brees, which was a great quarterback. Off a bye, usually you take the better head coach with the more experienced players, but I think Carolina, now they have more losses than New Orleans. I think that between Carolina, New Orleans, and Tampa Bay, that division's wide open. So I feel like if Carolina wants to stay in it, which they do, they might get Christian McCaffrey back. No, they haven't had Christian McCaffrey since week 1.
My fantasy team
has taken a hit. Mine too. I drafted him number 1 overall. I don't like it. But with Christian McCaffrey, completely different equation. I'm taking Carolina all day. Without Christian McCaffrey, I'm still taking Carolina. But if New Orleans wins, I won't be surprised.
The main reason why I'm going to disagree is because New Orleans is probably going to get Michael Thomas back. I assume they're not going to discipline him for 2 games straight, especially off a bye.
Imagine getting in trouble 2 years in a row for fighting a teammate at practice.
I mean, I don't like Michael Thomas at all.
I hate Michael.
He definitely
is the biggest diva at wide receiver, including Antonio Brown.
No, there's no one greater than Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown has essentially almost thrown his entire career down the drain because of it. Michael Thomas is still on the team.
For now. At 27, Antonio Brown was a problem child that was putting up over 1,000 yards, so nobody cared.
I think Michael Thomas is just a greater Odell on the Giants, but I don't think he's at Antonio's level yet.
I guess when you're the best person at running slants,
it's
you're gonna make a lot of money and catch a lot of passes. But I don't know. I got Carolina. I do see where you're coming from with Michael Thomas. Tampa Bay versus Las Vegas. I got Las Vegas circled on the paper. That's how I genuinely feel.
That is a very hard one. The Raiders have looked really good.
Really good, but they've also looked really bad.
I honestly haven't been watching their games that much.
I don't think they played this week. I think they're honestly coming off a bye.
No, I'm pretty sure they played.
No, they didn't. I didn't have it in last week's notes. So yeah, they're literally coming off of a bye week, playing Tampa Bay, who's already known as wildly inconsistent. I got Las Vegas.
I don't know. I feel like Tampa Bay is starting to utilize Gronk a little bit more too. Tampa Bay, you know.
Tampa Bay.
I feel like Tampa Bay just has too much. It
Yeah,
depends. It depends on how well Derek Carr plays. I think it fully depends on whether Derek Carr decides to be Derek Carr or not.
I think if Derek Carr uses, because Derek Carr's whole criticism his entire career has been that he doesn't like throwing the deep ball. I think last when they played the Chiefs, and Henry Ruggs was burning those corners, and forgive me, I forgot the. This is gonna sound bad, but the white dude from Clemson. Renfro's always doing his thing off the slot. I don't know where they found that guy. I feel like if he could find those guys deep down the field, they have a chance to win this game because Tampa Bay is susceptible to allowing big plays down the sideline sometimes. And Las Vegas' defense is getting better. And Tom Brady's throwing a couple picks a game at this point in his career.
Yeah, he threw a few pick sixes.
2 pick sixes through weeks 1 through 5. Last game really had no mistakes, but are we gonna trust that? I'm not. I got Las Vegas over Tampa Bay. I got the Chargers over Jacksonville. I think Herbert is pissed off. Still doesn't have a dub. Herbert's been playing so good and still doesn't have a W. I don't know what's wrong with the Chargers right now.
I think if I had to lock in a game that I would almost guarantee a win, I think I'm definitely picking the Chargers over Jacksonville.
Nah, man. Buffalo still has to play the Jets. Think about it. Buffalo still has to play the Jets. That could be your second lock of the week, but my lock of the week.
Any
is
team that plays the
Buffalo.
Jets actually is gonna get a lock.
The only week that the lock won't be against New York is they might go 0-16 this year. It's the week that they have a bye. They have the greatest chance of going. I thought the Dolphins were going to go 0-16 last year.
They'll go 0-17 because they're gonna lose in the bye week somehow too.
They're probably gonna lose. They're gonna practice and lose to COVID. That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna be like, guys, we can't afford to rest. We need to really practice this week, and they're gonna lose to coronavirus. I hope not.
Bruh.
Washington versus Dallas. I have Washington.
Yeah, I mean, like I said.
That's a stink fest. NFC least.
Like I said, it's
I thought we were doing worse than that on time. That's good. I thought we were doing.
It's
awful.
the Dallas Jets right now.
The Dallas Jets.
It's the
So
without
we're going Washington over
without
Dallas.
Dak Prescott, it's the Dallas Jets with a good running back.
A good running back.
I mean, Zeke is still Zeke. He fumbled a
Look,
couple
yeah, I get it.
times.
Zeke is still Zeke, but
He still puts up numbers for my fantasy team.
lost 4 fumbles in 6 weeks. He's lost 4 fumbles in 6
How
weeks.
many-
And with the Dallas defense, all 4 have been scored for touchdowns.
How many fumbles has Adrian Peterson lost?
Are we really gonna compare who's better?
I'm not saying who's better, but
Who would you
Adrian.
rather have?
I mean,
Not even right. Not right now.
I know.
in
I know.
their prime.
Talking about in like 2012.
When he had Orange Peanut.
That man had a fumbling problem. He was still a great running back. I think Zeke's a great running
You're
back,
running
and
the ball
he just
40 times a game.
oh,
You're
I'm
gonna fumble a
You-
lot more times than if you run the ball 20 times a game, which is what Zeke is doing.
yeah. I think Zeke might start running the ball 50 times a game
I'm-
with Andy Dalton
I
back
think they
there.
Should.
Yeah,
I think they should put the whole team on his shoulders and say fuck it.
I think Dallas wins if Zeke runs. If Zeke runs the ball more times than Andy Dalton passes it, then they'll win. That's it.
Andy Dalton, I think, had 54 passes
Yeah.
last week.
Why?
In his first
In
game as a
what
starter.
world?
In Mike McCarthy's offense. That's whose world. Yeah, you remember that guy that made Aaron Rodgers not win more than 1 Super Bowl? That's your head coach, Dallas. Good luck with that. We're moving on from that game. I got Seattle over Arizona. This was the one, because I got Seattle over everybody, basically, because I'm on the Russell Wilson, for MVP campaign. But if this is, you know how sometimes you always pick your team, but you know they have to lose a couple games.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those games where I'm like, I'm damn near going to pick Arizona. But I'm not. I'm picking Seattle because I think they're the better team.
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't even trust Arizona enough, because Arizona also has those really big glimmers where they look really good,
And then those really
and then those
lows.
yeah.
You know Kyler Murray went 9 for 24 and still put up 38 on the Dallas Cowboys?
The Cowboys are something else.
That's not even –
The
that's
Cowboys,
horrible quarterback play.
The Cowboys are something else.
It's just lack of effort, man. It's a lack of effort. So, next we've got KC at Denver. I just got KC winning handily. Denver is Denver.
Yeah, you don't need to say anything.
Entire team is on the injured reserve.
Patrick Mahomes.
The Trash Can Cisco 49ers versus the New England COVID-19s.
Bruh.
I'm going with the Patriots.
I'm going with the Patriots.
Going with the
You going
Patriots.
Patriots? Okay, cool. Pittsburgh, Tennessee, battle of the undefeateds. One team's O's got to go unless they tie, but I don't see that happening. I've got Tennessee
Yeah.
because Pittsburgh's run defense is one of the best in the league, and Derrick Henry's the best in the league. So I feel like we have immovable object versus an unstoppable force. And I think the unstoppable force is.
Yeah, I just don't think you can stop Derrick Henry that much.
I think if he runs the ball 25 times, you're gonna have problems.
Like
and he always runs the ball.
You can try to slow him down, but
Try.
he's gonna run through people. He's gonna get his yards.
If you do slow him down, Ryan Tannehill's a god.
Yeah, Ryan Tannehill's
on the Titans.
very good.
I don't know what he's doing with the Dolphins.
He was good on the Dolphins too.
I don't
He's
know
just
what Mike Vrabel's got him doing over there. I love that coach. I think he's great. Might win. If Tennessee keeps doing what they're doing, he's gonna win Coach of the Year easily, no problem. But I think he's really developed Tannehill into a quarterback. Like, not just a system quarterback. I think, like, Tannehill's actually good.
Yeah, Tannehill's always been good. He's just never been this good.
True facts. So this goes on to last game of the week. Monday Night Football. We got Chicago versus LA. Is this game in LA or in Chicago? Do you know? It doesn't matter, but
I got no idea. Yeah,
No,
I don't even worry about that anymore.
I got Chicago winning. I know you're a Rams fan, but with that offense, without Akers, especially without Akers,
I think Akers might be coming back.
still, that's got to go up against Chicago's defense.
I think just for that, I'm starting Jared Goff my fantasy team this week. Just for that.
I got Russell Wilson.
I also have Russell Wilson. There's no way.
Started Jared Goff. Yeah, I got Chicago's defense dominating. Goff's gonna look really, really bad. I actually have Jared Goff a part of my flavor for 5 that we'll get to later.
I actually think we're putting up at least 30 points. I think we're putting up 30 plus just
I got
because.
you with 17
Just
points.
because after we play a bad game on offense, we come back next week and just blow it up.
I hope so.
So
I hope you guys are right. I like the Rams. I respect him because I like him because of you. So yeah, I think big blank Nick goes off.
BDN.
I think BDN has a game. I think it's the battle of the D lines. Whoever's D line plays better will win this game. You got Khalil Mack and Aaron Donald. I wrote it in the notes. The defensive player of the year will come out of this game. Because defensive player of the year this year is either going to be Khalil Mack or Aaron Donald. The numbers that they're putting up isn't crazy because they're carrying their teams from a pass rush standpoint, which is awesome. You need two offensive linemen to block both of them. Aaron Donald is the better player, but Khalil Mack plays in the better system, plays on the better team. So I got Depoy coming out of this game for sure. I got a Chicago 20, the Rams 17 for a total 37. Take the under. They're not scoring 46. My top 10 NFL teams. From 10 to 1, I got Indianapolis, Arizona, Buffalo, Tampa, Baltimore, Chicago, Green Bay at 4, Tennessee in my top 3. Then I got reigning defending at 2, Kansas City. And then number 1, off a bye, I've got your Seattle Seahawks.
Because I spit hot fire.
This sucks for you, man. Your division is
I don't think the Cardinals are better than the Rams.
2 top 10 teams.
I don't think the Cardinals
are better than the
or
Rams.
the Colts are better than the Rams. I don't think
Both of those
Buffalo's
teams
better than the
I
Rams.
think Buffalo's not better than the Rams.
They beat us, but
They
they
beat
shouldn't
you.
have.
I don't care.
Shouldn't have.
Then the Saints should have been in the Super Bowl.
I'm not even saying because of that. We messed up. All right, we lost the game.
If you lost to Buffalo, there's my argument. So I don't think the Rams are better than those 3 teams at the end.
Definitely better than the Colts.
I don't think you're
We're
better than
definitely
the
better than the Colts. That's so
I'll take
disgusting.
Phillip Rivers over Jared Goff.
Definitely
No,
not.
definitely
It's
not.
not this season.
Definitely not. But I don't know. The Rams haven't showed me. The Rams have Aaron Donald, and it's the only glimmer of hope that you guys have for the rest of his life because he's never leaving.
I mean, we will throw our entire salary cap at that
Of
guy.
course you will. You already have.
Yeah.
And it's worked.
Mhm.
Pretty much. Anyway, I think that sums up that. We're going to go UFC. Last week we had the Ortega zombie card. In that card, Martinez outstruck Almeida. Almeida's a Muay Thai legend. Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, you didn't watch the fight, so I'll just sum it up for you. Martinez outstruck Almeida, which is a Brazilian legend for Muay Thai and kickboxing, which was cool because I thought he was going to KO Almeida because Almeida's on the tail end of career. Came in as a hot prospect, undefeated, has 4 losses in his UFC career. I think, and only 3 wins or 4 wins or something like that. So to be that hot of a prospect and go 500 pretty much, it's not good. James Krause, who I talked about last week being on the prelims, was really disrespectful. He blew out his knee and still got a unanimous decision win
I heard about that.
over a prospect. It was pretty cool. They announced it on ESPN. He had just casually looked at his corner and said, my knee's blown. It's cash, with the usual in an MMA fight. Jimmy Crute, I don't know if you saw it. That combination was crazy. It was all over Instagram, all over social media. He had a dude with a 3-piece. It was a a right overhand, dropped him, got popped right back up, got hit with an uppercut. So Jimmy Crute hit him with an uppercut, fell down again, got right back up. Then he hit him with a cross to the chin, like straight on the button. Fell down, did not get back up. It was beautiful. It was beautiful to watch. It was a great KO to watch. I think everybody should look it up. Andrade TKO's the number one contender. So she's moving up from flyweight to strawweight. So she's 115 to 125. Faces the number one contender, knocks her out in round 1. Possibly going to fight Valentina Shevchenko in her next fight.
I love Shevchenko so much.
Shevchenko's so good.
She's so good.
She's so good.
Her and Rose Namajunas are my 2 favorite women fighters.
I think if Amanda Nunes doesn't exist, they're the 2 best on the planet.
Yeah, there's no one that could ever top Amanda Nunes, I don't think.
The girl's got dynamite in her hands.
And she's just amazing everywhere.
Yeah, she's literally a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and has hands, which is awesome. So on to the main event. Brian Ortega absolutely dominated the Korean. Like, it wasn't even close.
This fight I actually watched.
Yes, you did. So you can give your input. But I had Zombie KOing Ortega in round 5. I thought it was going to be a war. Just bloody back and forth, all guts, all glory. Just one of them's going to go out at the very end. Was not like that at all. Ortega just delivered a masterclass of a performance. Zombie didn't look like he wanted to be there. Zombie didn't look like he knew what he was doing there.
Yeah, he like the commentators were saying he wanted to try to be a little bit slower than he usually fights. I guess he's just trying to protect himself at this point.
Yeah, because he was talking about how he always is brawling, and he doesn't want to brawl because it leads him to get up like that.
Yeah.
That downward.
There's something about this dude with elbows, man.
PTSD, bro.
Something about this dude with elbows.
This dude, Brian Ortega threw like 3 spinning back elbows. All of them connected. One of them dropped him. That fight was crazy. Brian Ortega looked better than he's ever looked. He did to Zombie what Holloway did to him.
That's a good way to put that.
Right?
Yeah.
I think he learned, in those 2 years off, he learned everything he needed to learn about himself, about the game. And I think he's got a title shot now.
Oh, for sure.
No, he does. Dana White confirmed right before the interview went to go talk to him, Dana White was like, it's over. Like, yeah, that's the guy. So he's already got it.
I will say the one thing I love about Zombie though is even though he was getting completely pieced up that fight, he was
having so much fun.
Not only that, he was always advancing.
Oh, he just walked
I
forward.
hardly ever watched him go backwards the entire fight.
At all.
I've always loved
When
Chan Sung for that.
Yeah, when your nickname's the Korean Zombie,
and
that's
it
what
comes
people
up,
know you by, like that's what's on the marquee, that's what's on the display at the bottom. When you got that much of a wow, the Dodgers are dominating Tampa Bay 8-1 right now. But Tampa's looking to come back in the 7th inning stretch, guys. 7th inning stretch. Anyway, yeah, when you're just that much of a fan favorite, where your nickname is basically your name, it's heartbreaking to see you lose.
Yeah.
I feel like I lost. I feel like I watched Cerrone lose. Like, you know how Cowboy has these stretches, like 3-4 fights where he's looking really good, and then you're like, oh, if you just win this one, you just get this one.
You just win this one, and then you get shouldered a few times.
Yeah. Or spinning back elbow. No, that's bad. We got to speed this up. But we're having too much fun. You can't come on anymore. This is not good. But Brian Ortega, does he beat Alexander Volkanovski? That guy is like a truck.
No, I think Volkanovski. If he fights the same exact way he fought against Zombie, which was a very good fight. I feel like if you want to beat Volkanovski, like you got to beat Volkanovski, and he wasn't really.
I thought Holloway beat Volkanovski.
I also thought Holloway beat but that's Max Holloway. I think Max Holloway would beat Brian Ortega in a fight again.
Yeah, but I think Max Holloway is just the best 145er.
So
it's not.
I don't think there's anyone better than Max.
Here's my whoever wins this Volkanovski Ortega fight, they have the belt, but they're not the champ. They got the belt, but Max Holloway is still the champion of that division. You could put him in a main event slot and put Volkanovski right below him as the co-main, and nobody's going to have a problem. But that's just the love and admiration I have for that guy. Let's just move on. Upcoming UFC. So we'll go from the main event down to the fights that I don't really care about. We got Khabib versus Gaethje. I think Justin makes it really ugly, which Khabib has never been in. Khabib's only been rocked twice in his entire career. And I think Gaethje makes it ugly, and I think he KOs him in 4 or 5. Because I think after 3 rounds of absolutely just that, like, you know how Justin Gaethje fights. It's like war every second. And Khabib can't handle war every second. He can smash you. He can smash. But
Khabib's not going to war.
He can't go to war, bro.
I don't.
He doesn't have the style to go to war. He gets tired. He takes rounds off on purpose.
I mean that as a positive for Khabib. Khabib's not going to war. Unless, I mean, Gaethje does have really good wrestling. Yeah. Everyone knows this.
You know who Jordan Burroughs is?
I do not. I've heard of him, actually. I don't know who he is, but I've heard of him.
He's the greatest wrestler of all time.
Okay.
Like Ben Askren couldn't beat him. Justin Gaethje lost by decision to him twice. I think Justin Gaethje was the only guy that he never pinned. Because I think they wrestled twice. I'm trying to remember what he said on the podcast, but he said, he was like, I wrestled Jordan Burroughs twice, and he never pinned me. Never got me down. Because he won on decision because he was more aggressive.
Has that guy wrestled a bear?
Yeah, he just wrestled Justin Gaethje. We just talked about it. If we're talking a bear versus Justin Gaethje, I'm taking Justin Gaethje, and I don't care.
I mean, I'm taking Justin Gaethje with the hands.
Who do you got in the fight?
Khabib. I just don't. The only person I think.
I got Gaethje so much. I went on DraftKings, and every single one I did, I think it was like 5 because I had like a $25 credit. I think every single one I did, I picked Justin Gaethje to win. That's how absolutely positive I am. Watch me be wrong, and next week I got to come on the podcast and be like, "Hey guys, sorry, I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about."
I think the only person that has a chance is if GSP is still GSP and the end
of
fighting.
He is. But you know he is. But you know what's crazy? You're not getting that fight because in order for that fight to happen, Khabib needs to be undefeated, and he's fighting Justin Gaethje.
Khabib said if he wins, he wants to fight GSP.
I know. If he wins, not gonna win.
I want Khabib to win. This is the only fight I want Khabib to win.
I hate you. You can't just support my dreams. I got Whitaker versus Cannonier. I put literally bullet point anybody's fight. I think if Cannonier can land early and often, it's a bad night for Whitaker. But if Whitaker can endure the first 3 minutes and figure him out and get his timing down, especially with the jab, because he throws his jab at such an awkward angle while shuffling his feet a lot. It's more like a straight. And those kicks just come out from awkward angles. And I feel like over time, Whitaker has the experience to be able to pull this off, and Cannonier does not. So this is a toss-up for me.
It just depends if Whitaker can fight the way he fought before he was injured.
I circled Whitaker, but this is anybody's fight. But I circled Whitaker. Cool. Volkov versus Harris. I don't know if you remember about Walt Harris. His stepdaughter had passed. Lost to Overeem by TKO after the canceling of the fight.
Watch that fight.
Watch that fight. Very sad fight to watch. Just watching him look up and Overeem kind of hugging him. It was a tough one. I think he bounces back with the win over Volkov. Volkov takes 1 step forward and 2 steps back. And I think he won his last fight. So if history tells me anything, Walt Harris is going to dominate this fight. So Ankalaev, I think is his name, is going to fight Ion Cutelaba. The story behind this fight's crazy. This is the 3rd time it's been booked. In the first fight, the ref stopped it because the Russian dude was throwing a lot of punches. They were kind of landing a little bit, kind of bouncing off the shoulders. Some of them got through the guard. Apologies. And then Ion Cutelaba, whose nickname is Hulk because he paints himself all green for the weigh-ins, he started doing the Anderson Silva oh, I'm hurt, and then swings wildly. And the ref saw him do that one too many times, and he called it. And Ian was like, "What did you just do?"
I think I actually remember seeing videos
of that.
Yeah,
so that fight has just been rescheduled for the 3rd time. They're actually gonna fight if they both make weight and don't go to the hospital. So if they end up fighting, I think Cutelaba was gonna win the first fight anyway. So I think he's gonna win this one because he's extra angry, and that dude is terrifying to watch fight.
I don't know enough to disagree or agree. So
cool. We're gonna go by Cutelaba KO in round 1. Stefan Struve. The 7-footer himself should be in the NBA. Is a UFC fighter, not a very good one. Is gonna fight Tai Tuivasa, the guy that does shoeies.
I love
Tai Tuivasa. I love when he wins because he does shoeies, but he hasn't been winning lately.
I haven't even seen him in a while. I feel like
he gets out of the first 2 minutes, and then everybody figures out that if you take him down one time, he's exhausted. It's not even he'll pop back up and he's a completely different fighter.
He is a very big dude.
Very big guy. And so is Stefan, but Stefan's also a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Stefan's also big because he's 7 foot, though. Yes. He's not big because
both of them cutting down to 265, though. Both of them for sure cutting down to 265. It's either going to be Tuivasa, first round KO, or it's going to be a UD for Struve because he's just going to grind him out on the mat with using that black belt, in my opinion. And then Cowboy Alex Oliveira's fighting. I don't know who. don't really care. That's gonna be a fun fight because it's always a fun fight when he fights. And Sam Alvey's fighting, and I don't really care who. It's gonna be a fun fight because Sam Alvey's fighting.
UFC fights have been very good recently. Very good since
very,
COVID.
Very good since COVID. Very good since COVID. I think if anybody doesn't have ESPN Plus to get it, because those fights, for $5 a month, you get 3 free cards and a pay-per-view. Got to pay for the pay-per-view, but you get the 3 free cards. And those cards, no-name fighters, still doing great. Still having performances that nobody saw coming. And that leads me into the Flavorful 5. These are my 5 hot takes. I got my first one's obvious. Khabib's O is going to go. I think he leaves Fight Island defeated. He's no longer undefeated. He's 28-1. Joe Burrow's going to shine versus Cleveland. Probably throws for 4 touchdowns versus those trash corners. Chicago's going to pick off Jared Goff 3 times. That's the take. Sorry. Yeah. I got your boy throwing 3 interceptions. Is it impossible?
No, but
Anything's possible. No, it's very possible.
I think it's least likely than it is likely.
Okay, that's why it's a hot take. That's why I'm part of Flavorful 5.
That's why you're
it's part of
unintelligent.
I mean, last week's Flavorful 5, I went 0-5, so I don't even want to.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to talk about last week's Flavorful 5. And then last but not least, like I said, Kudaleba is going to become a star with his KO. I think this fight is hype. It's hyped up. They don't like each other. I think Kudaleba should have won the first fight. Shitty stoppage. Third time has been rebooked. He gets the KO, becomes a star. Thank you to the Raw DJs, Mark and Carlos, as always. Check out My Mom's Origami Owl because Mark wants to buy an island. So if you guys want to buy some stuff, Origami Owl / Christina Ojeda would be great. Because if they buy an island, I get to visit. And shout out Mikey, man. It's been cool having you here. This one was different. I'm glad you were here. We had good energy. And
It went way too long, apparently.
Went way too long. It's supposed to be a 30-minute recap. This is a 55-minute podcast. I can't even put this on Spotify. I don't have enough hours to upload to my streaming service, so this is only going to be on YouTube. It's all good. I had a lot of fun. Thank you for coming out, and we're dancing.
They know why I'm here. You know why I'm here.